Strickland with you for the next couple hours here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Proudly brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. They're open tomorrow. Not today, but they are open tomorrow. We appreciate them, all their work for the show. Stricky, we know you enjoy Thirsty Thursday. I enjoy Thirsty Thursday too with our guy Kevin Meyer, Meyer's Cork and Bottle. We have to shout out our friends over at the mill, our roommates, our neighbors at the mill, and also Empyrean Brewing down at Laszlo's. Because, Strick, we also have Take It Down Tuesday now. They brought in their coffee and cream ale. I don't know if you ended up getting a sip of it or not, but Stricky, that was a capital P patio pounder.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And it's beautiful to see. I mean, we've definitely had people rolling in. The weather is approaching 50. It's a beautiful day here in Lincoln, downtown. The sun is shining. And we had a good group of folks come in and just get an opportunity to not only take a look at the mill, have a patio pounder, but also see what goes on here for 93.7 The Ticket. So it's also great. Keep our hearts and minds and thoughts with our leadership here. A lot going on, a lot continuing to go on. I mean, seats outside now. We have our own patio pounder where we can do some pounding.
Yes, we do.
We're just continuing to ramp up and do better and to provide great product for you here in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
That we do. A great show coming your way today, again, for the next 2 hours. Next hour is going to be really fun. We'll get into who do Nebraska fans hate most in this college football playoff and why. In just 10 minutes or so, we'll get into Teach Tape Tuesday as well, a simple play that Strick found. I'll make sure that gets shared, whether it's on my Instagram story or find a way to get it on Twitter for you as well. But Strick, let's start by talking some NFL. This came out yesterday, and you having played in the pros, I really want your opinion on this. So this was from Zach Rosenblatt, was the guy that tweeted this out. He writes for The Athletic, covering the New York Jets. We know about their quarterback situation. They bring Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. They turn the reins over to Zach Wilson after Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. They bench Zach Wilson for Tim Boyle. And now they want to go back to Zach Wilson. So Rosenblatt says the Jets want to make a switch at QB. The team is leaning towards Zach Wilson to take over, but he is reluctant to step back in. The team is hoping he changes his mind as they continue to discuss the next steps. I see two sides to this story. One of them is the human element, where I can totally understand how Zach Wilson is feeling, being kind of jerked back and forth, believed in, not believed in, starting, benched. That'd be a lot. I can only imagine the mental toll, and I want you to speak on that as a professional, not knowing what your role is or if people believe in you or not. But then the other aspect of it that I don't understand where he's coming from is, dude, your career's on life support. Who are you to turn down any opportunity to start games and play?
I think you hit two important points there. One of them especially being, I don't know if people can understand the human element of what's going on with Zach Wilson. We've got to think about, and we've talked about this here on the block, there's so many things about culture, about location, about where you grew up, how you grew up, now where you're at. It is a freaking, New York is like, oh gosh, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. It is the most fickle place that I've ever been. Like when I played with the Knicks there, right? It would be times that they're literally booing us, right? It's like, well, we're the home team. You should be booing the other team, right? I mean, guys have bad nights. Obviously, Nebraska, we saw that a couple nights ago down with Creighton. But to boo your home team, it's one of the wildest things. But if they do not like you, if you're not living up to the billing, you're going to get murked. Not only in the press, they're going to hear it in the stadiums. They're going to be cursing you out walking through the tunnels. I mean, it is one of the craziest dynamics. And sometimes dealing with that emotional aspect of it, it can weigh heavy on you, especially depending on where you've come from. Like if you've come from like California or LA, you might have a little bit more rigidness to it. If you're an inner city kid and you've been used to hearing things. I mean, I heard it when I was playing at Bellevue West, when I go into Omaha and play against, some Omaha teams, they probably didn't like me because I was a suburb, kid. Why you think you can come in
soft
here
from out there?
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not used to that or you're built a little bit different, it can weigh heavy on you. It can be hard. I think that's what he's dealing with. So now, as you said, It's the element. You have to look at it as opportunity. Bro, it's like, who is it that we can kind of reference? There's a oh gosh, I know who he is. There's a player that has continuously, just look at Randy Gregory.
Sure.
Let's just throw out Randy Gregory.
Okay.
Randy Gregory has continuously had opportunity after opportunity and, get suspended. Another one. What's the wide receiver? Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
He's another one, right? Those guys, talent, and when you have that opportunity, you have to take advantage of it. And that's the other element of it. Figure out a way to take advantage. If you want to get moved, raise your level so that you can be savory in the mouth of another organization.
Okay, that part.
That would want you to come there.
Yeah, we only have about a minute before we have to hit the emergency alert. But Stricky, I know what you've talked about being traded from Dallas, right? Would you have preferred to have been, shuffled back and forth between the starting lineup and bench, not knowing what's going on, being believed in and not believed in? Or was it best that if Dallas wanted to move on, they just shipped you out, had it over with?
But see, that's the thing, right? I would say not even in Dallas. Great point. I would say this is why I had to have a conversation with Terry Porter when I was in Milwaukee, because it was like, well, what do you want from me? What is it that you want me to do? How do you want me to support you? You see what I'm saying? In Dallas, if they would have came to me, I would have said, sure, Steve Nash I don't need to start. You know what I'm saying? If you want to start Steve. But what happened is they had a young player in Greg Buckner who was like me, but not me.
Right.
Right. He did a lot of the things that I do, can guard multiple guys. He was younger. It was just, it was a way to move me out the way without having to deal with everybody putting the pressure on Steve Nash. So yes, I think I would have hated it, but you can come talk to me. I think if you have the conversation, it works.
He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. This is On the Block and 93.7 The Ticket. More after this.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
We're bringing heaven to Lincoln with a waffle unlike anything you've ever experienced. Heavenly Waffles combines an incredibly fluffy recipe packed with protein and a medley of angelic toppings. To elevate the experience beyond your typical waffle and syrup, take the opportunity to try out this divine creation and pair it with a coffee from the mill as we celebrate Heavenly Waffles Wednesday from 8 to 11 a.m. at the 93.7 The Ticket Studio.
Enjoy some Heavenly Waffles this December 6th at the 93.7 Ticket Studio at 1040 O Street. Parking available along 11th Street or in nearby garages.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com. Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, Ugg, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block. I'm Austin Norman. He is Erick Strickland. Glad you're along for the ride. If you have any thoughts on anything we're talking about today, make sure you get in touch with the show on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, or on any of our streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, all available for you to leave a comment on, brought to you again by Starter Heyman Jewelers. This is one of my favorite segments of the week. If you listen to the show, you know Strick and I talk a lot of basketball, but getting into the schematics of it, we call this Teach Tape Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday at about 2:30. Last week, we played some video for you from Twitter. This week, I recommend that you go to Instagram. That's going to be the best spot to find this one. Give me a follow at aorman5 if you want to see the play that we're talking about right now, or at eStrick2020. It's on his story as well. Strick, this one comes to us from Utah State. So just kind of walk us through the setup of this play. What is Utah State's initial action? What are they doing here?
Well, it starts off as a 4-high set with, you have a guard that's going to kind of stay in the middle. It's very similar to that Allen Iverson play that they used to run, where you kind of run a guard off and into the wing, and then sometimes you would get a pick and roll action. But it starts there. But the action is going to turn into a back screen on the strong side post man, which then a post with the pop allows the center to roll to the basket. If there's no switch, then you're going to either have a layup or you're going to have a weak side opportunity to a cross court pass to the weak side shooter. So there's a lot of options that are there, or the pop guy if the guard does not go with him. They end up in this specific situation with a layup by the center, just rolling over the top. What it reminds me of is, and here's the crazy thing about this play. This is an old Utah Jazz play that they used to run for Karl Malone and Ostertag and that crew, right? They used to do that same thing with Jeff Hornacek and Karl Malone, running them off with that similar type of action, which forces you to either make a decision and switch and whatnot. So it doesn't surprise me that Utah State has picked up on this particular play. What's beautiful about this play is not only did they get the layup, it presents itself for counters.
Right, and that's, I think, a big part of this is the play itself. It just looks
Simple.
like ring around the rosy. It's not a lot going on. The guard's running circles, it looks like, sets that simple back screen on the strong side. The ball doesn't move sides of the floor. It stays on one, and the guy has 3 feet of space for the layup. Now talk about the counters. What else could a team do off of this action?
So what's first, the good setup is the point guard's timing of it. The earlier he goes and declares a side of the strength of the side that he's going to, it allows the defense to then get into weak side actions in defense. The fact that he stays at the top, you have to stay up with your player because of the fact that it could be some weak side action going on that you're going to end up getting caught on. So he waits until the curl around from the guard. Then he fly dribbles to the wing, makes a great entry pass for the layup. Now, they can change that dynamic, make it look the same by him going to the wing earlier, running the same action, but not setting a screen for the same guy, strong side. He goes weak side this time, gets the other center or the other forward cutting to the basket. If you then get switch or you get confusion, then you have a down pick action for the shooter coming off for 3 as a counter.
So the guy that ended up with the layup in this counter action would be the one setting that screen for the guard to fly up from essentially underneath the basket.
Yeah.
Kind of like a one-door elevator screen almost, right?
Yeah. So it's a tremendous play that can create multiple counters. And you run this type of play when you need buckets. Obviously, you can see the clock is at 3:39 or 3:39 when they're running this play. So this is second half action. So this is late in the game when you know you need a basket. You're trying to close a run that the team is making against you, or you want to push the lead so that it forces them to have to speed up action and maybe potentially make bad plays on their own.
Like you said, it's 75-62 with 3.5 minutes to go at this juncture. A lot of teams would be just having their point guard dribble 1-4 low, bring the big man up late, maybe run something with 10 seconds on the clock. This was early shot clock action, which is okay late game if you know you're going to get either the guaranteed 2 like they got here. You mentioned the play that Nebraska missed, Sam Hoiberg on the cut is another option
Very
they could
similar.
run off of that.
Yeah.
Or you live with a wide open corner 3. What you don't see in this play is the guy that's parked in that weak side corner. The point guard dribbles right. If that corner defender
Comes over,
helps off, that's an easy hit the roller or the cutter on it, boom, cross court. And then if it's a good shooter, that's a knockdown corner 3. At least you take your chances with that shot. If it's a non-shooter and they're helping off, you can probably go into another action or attack the rim, kick out. Simple, but it's better, I think, strict too. I mean, talk about this. Late game, the easy thing to do is take the air out of the ball, dribble, but that gets guys out of rhythm, doesn't it? The more guys you get involved, the better chance at points. Is that fair to say?
I would have to agree. The more action you get, the more that you have your team feeling like they're involved. If it's a bunch of standing around, it's 2-man action all the time. Then when a shot comes or presents itself for guys on the weak side, sometimes you're just not ready. You're thinking that's not going to happen. And so what ends up happening is a guy on the two-man action gets caught, multiple defenders, or something happens and the ball all of a sudden gets whipped to you. You're like, oh, wait, I got it. You kind of come out of a stupor and got to shoot. And so this is, I think, was a problem that's very similar to like why teams have struggled in the past with like James Harden. This is why their playoff action struggle, because in the season is a little bit more lackluster and, guys aren't, is intent in season, but when it gets to playoffs, stuff tightens up. And so when you've been used to kind of just standing around and seeing the mojo, and then you're not getting the fouls that you would normally get, you're not ready for those opportunities in crucial moments of the game.
Let's take that last part of that conversation, apply it to Nebraska. As we watch the men's basketball team, it seems like they're moving pieces on offense, right? 2 or 3 guys touch the ball before it even gets inside the 3-point line most times. Is Nebraska's offense moving with enough purpose? Right? Plenty of guys are touching the ball, but sometimes, Strick, it seems like they're just jogging through the motions of the play. It seems like guys are touching the ball just to touch it, but what's the purpose of Nebraska's actions? I didn't always feel that against Creighton.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, teams have come to an understanding of this dribble handoff, what it is. You just open up and go through it, or you just straight switch it. To me, it's once it gets into that 16, 15 range, 12 range, and they're trying to get into whatever that action is really meant for, that's when, to me, it bogs down, because they're not shedding screens. It's like they get so used to the dribble handoff action and just going through that when it's time to put a body on somebody, you've been just used to running the handoff action and just kind of
jogging by them.
Yeah. And so you're not, it's not a program in your mind to really put a body on guys. One of the biggest lessons about that, Austin, is this. This is what I've always learned. It is a technique. It is something that stands the test of time. And it's this. The guy who sets the best screen is going to be the one open for the shot. It never fails. The better you set a screen, the more opportunity you are to end up with a shot, because it's going to create some form of, I need to help my guy, because if I don't, he's going to get a shot, which then creates a little helter-skelter in rotations. But if guys are on you and they're right there, you've got nothing. So you're end up with a forced shot, a challenge shot, or a bad shot, which are all bad at times, unless you're just on fire, and it's like that sometimes. So that's the issue, that when you're not putting bodies on people, I always made sure I put a body on somebody, because I knew that if I put a body on him, they're going to help him. He's probably not going to be open because they're going to help. So whatever action I'm going on the other side, I'm probably going to be open.
You look at that play that we're talking about here on Teach Tape Tuesday, again, at Estrick 2020 or at AOrman5 on Instagram to see the play. The guard setting the screen is so much smaller than the center's guy, but the angle was there, and he did it with purpose, right? He took the right angle. He stood in the way for long enough. Bringing it back to Nebraska, the guy that I think needs to be the best screener for Nebraska to get himself the best shots is CJ Wilcher. They love running him off of stuff. I still think CJ's just better, as most guys are, with his feet set.
Yeah.
If CJ Wilcher can set good screens, do some, 1-2, 1-3 kind of pick and rolls with Casey, to pick and pop that with CJ Wilcher getting his feet set with less movement, I kind of think of that almost as like what the Warriors do with Klay Thompson setting screens. Steph and Klay in a pick and roll kind of action, that's unguardable.
It just depends on who's guarding him, right?
Sure.
The size, the foot speed. It depends, right? Because here's the thing. I hear you, but I would prefer Bryce.
Okay.
And Casey.
Okay.
And because there's an advantage that Bryce can take advantage of a smaller guard on a switch, that even if the guard can feel that they can just get to Casey off of the shot, then you might have an opportunity to do something, because Bryce in the post, similar to what Griesel used to do, can create opportunities where somebody has to come. Because if you don't,
he's made some nice kick out passes. He scored out of the mid post.
There you go.
Mhm.
That becomes available to you. So I don't think CJ gives me that.
No.
But because if you switch him and CJ, you're going to need another option to create it, as opposed to Bryce. You want the switch, and it could be some trouble there.
Right. Let's think about a couple other pick and roll options for Nebraska. You talked in post game and then on Monday about Keisei Tominaga being the best pick and roll ball handler Nebraska has.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Keisei and pick and roll. Rink Mass has done a lot of pick and pop, not a lot of pick and roll. Are you okay with that? Do you want to see more roll from Rink Mass? If Nebraska runs more two-man game with Keisei and Rink, what's ideal for those two?
I would switch it. Here's what I mean. I would put Alec in it, roll hard Alec. If we're not Lob City, then roll and replace with Rink Mass, because Big is going to probably have to help on Alec's
take away
roll.
the lob.
And if Keisei does what he does, Big's going to have to stay. Then I stretch Big because I know I'm not going to get shot. If you leave, I'm going to the basket. If you don't, I'm Rink Mass. If you don't get to him, it's a shot or it's a weak side three.
I'm not going to lie. I expected a few more lobs than we've seen for Josiah Alec already. Is that just a function of the offense? Does Nebraska need to get more of a vertical threat with Josiah Alec to open things up for shooters? What's that interplay?
There you go. I think so. I think they don't roll him enough. I think he needs to be a Derek Walker type of roller. I still don't think he probably finishes as well as Derek did. No. Derek was good with both hands.
All sorts of angles.
Getting by all sorts of angles, good body. Alex shows the ball way too easily to where there's block. What I mean, he shows it, but he doesn't know how to show it and move it yet. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I see. So he needs to either go and attack that thing, like I'm going to put you in the rim, or I'm going up to get this foul and get to the free throw line. So that's how Alec needs to probably approach it. But I think some roll and replace stuff would be better, because then if you don't have a shot for Mass, then you don't have the shot or the quick kick. You kick to a pick and roll and then a pop with him. You just want multiple actions out of that. But to me, it's a lot of dribble handoff stuff as opposed to pick and roll type of actions or pick and pop actions.
And Nebraska's not great off the dribble, so I would think setting a solid screen to get a guy open would be better than relying on Nebraska's natural athleticism to turn the corner.
Yeah, they don't have many guys that can do that. I mean, I don't even Big Boogie's not. He's not fleet of foot to do it. Keisei is probably the only one that could. He has actually more handles than he actually shows. Because I'm telling you, I saw him in JUCO. And the stuff that people tried to do against him defensively and the swag that he had in his handle, I was like, wait a minute, who is this? Who is this cat? Like, they're really trying. I mean, they're trying to do like I would do, like get in him. And he wasn't having nothing of it. And this is why I think he's probably the best suited for it. You're not going to get it from Sam Hoiberg. You're not going to get it. I don't even think you would have got it from Ulyss. Ulyss is very basic. Now, he has potential, but he's more, quick. The thing about Jamarcus is he needs changes of speed. He doesn't do that well enough. He's very straight line.
Has the accelerate, not the decelerate. Is that fair?
He doesn't have so like if I'm on the break and I'm hard pushing and I'm Jamarcus, because this is one of the things that I had to learn. It's a hard push, just a slow play, kind of see, and then I'm back gone, or I'm crossing you and back into the paint, or I'm waiting and I go between the legs with a little hesitation to see what you're going to do. And then I'm into the middle looking to open up things, right? He doesn't do that very well. He's hard into the paint, but he doesn't do that part well. Another thing that he needs to do is inside, hold dribble, roll out, see what it is, come back, and then see if there's a collapse and then kick. Very much like Steve Nash and those guys used to do. Yeah, he needs to do that too. That's something that he can add to his game. That's stuff that I would talk to him about if I was around him enough. But yeah, just little things that he could do to really help himself out.
Again, a guy that's still learning the ropes of the position. Plenty of growth we've seen already. Plenty of growth still to go. We've got Nebraska and Minnesota tomorrow night. Nebraska's first true road game of the year. We'll have post-game coverage for you right here on 93.7 The Ticket as soon as that game's done. Great stuff on Teach Tape Tuesday from Erick Strickland. He's playing the shootout. He's in the hot seat. Dave got him last time. Just a reminder, if you've won in the last 30 days, we do ask that you hold off on calling. So if you haven't won in the last 30, 31 days, make sure we opened up for everyone, give everyone a shot here at the champ, at Erick Strickland. Call now for the shootout, 402-464-5685. It is college football related. That's all I will tell you. Give us a call. Take on Strick for $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings next.
Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited to highlight the architecture of your home or business and provide a warm environment that feels safe. And for those outside the Lincoln area, they do ship across the country and are happy to work with anyone near or far with lights anywhere from 18 inches to 110 inches. Enhance your curb appeal with an exquisite Tailored Light today. Call 402-432-2572 or go to tailoredlights.com.
Husker fans, the Nebraska women's basketball team battles the Indiana Hoosiers on Sunday, January 7th at Pinnacle Bank Arena, and they want to see you there. Help them pack PBA as they retire Jordan Hooper's jersey, host a team reunion for the 2013 and 2014 teams, and give your Huskers a true home court advantage. For tickets, go to huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED. Come early and get your very own replica Jordan Hooper jersey retirement banner while supplies last. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets.
Friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Are you looking for some holiday fun? This year, start a new tradition. Make the Nebraska Christmas Lights Show experience an annual event for your family and a cherished memory to look forward to every year. From Black Friday to January 3rd, buckle up and tune into the rhythm of the lights and let the magic of Christmas take over with the show. Now located at Star City Shores, just off of 27th and Highway 2. Buy your tickets for just $20 or $25 per car today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
We're bringing heaven to Lincoln with a waffle unlike anything you've ever experienced. Heavenly Waffles combines an incredibly fluffy recipe packed with protein and a medley of angelic toppings. To elevate the experience beyond your typical waffle and syrup, take the opportunity to try out this divine creation and pair it with a coffee from the mill as we celebrate Heavenly Waffles Wednesday from 8 to 11 a.m. at the 93.7 The Ticket Studio.
Enjoy some Heavenly Waffles this December 6th at the 93.7 Ticket Studio at 1040 O Street. Parking available along 11th Street or in nearby garages.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Erick Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
That game is the Shootout with Strick. We play it every Tuesday and Thursday here for $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. A couple Lincoln locations here. Make sure you check them out. Tell them on the block sent you. We really appreciate them for sponsoring the Shootout with Strick. We go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline to play the game. We welcome in Dan. Dan, how are you on this fine Tuesday?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely.
All right, Dan, hold on the line. We will give Strick his 4 questions first, and then we will get to you. The 4 Heisman finalists were announced last night, so we're doing Heisman Trophy trivia. Stricky, your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He won the 2011 Heisman. Robert Griffin III or Andrew Luck?
Andrew Luck.
It was Griffin. He was the Heisman runner-up last year. Max Duggan or C.J. Stroud?
C.J. Stroud.
It was Duggan. He was the Heisman runner-up in 2001. Ken Dorsey or Rex Grossman?
Grossman.
It was Grossman, and he's the most recent running back to win the Heisman. He's the most recent running back to win the Heisman.
7, 6, 5, 4,
Henry.
3, 2, 1.
Tennessee Titans. Henry.
I'll give it to you. Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Yes. Got it. Okay. You salvaged the round, Stricky. That's 3 points. Good job.
Yeah.
3 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, Robert Griffin III won in 2011. It was Max Duggan, the runner-up last year. You did get Rex Grossman, who lost to my beloved Indianapolis Colts in the Super Bowl. And then Derrick Henry, the most recent running back to win. All right, Dan, 3 to tie, 4 or more to win. Are you ready for your shot at the shootout?
Ready to go.
All right, starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He won the 2008 Heisman. Colt McCoy or Sam Bradford?
Bradford.
Yep, he was the Heisman runner-up in 2019. Trevor Lawrence or Jalen Hurts?
Hurts.
Yep, he was the Heisman runner-up in 1983. Steve Young or Doug Flutie?
Young.
It was Young, and he's the most recent wide receiver to win the Heisman. He's the most recent wide receiver to win the Heisman.
8, 7,
the kid he plays for the Eagles now.
No, we go to the tiebreaker. We go to the tiebreaker. Devontae Smith.
There it is. Smith. I couldn't think of him.
Yep, that's all right. You're still alive, Dan. You are still alive. We go to the tiebreaker. I will give the question. Erick Strickland will give a number. Dan, you will go over or under Strick's number. Good?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Strick, the question is, how many different schools have 7 Heisman Trophy winners? How many different schools have 7 Heisman Trophy winners?
2.
Strick says 2. Dan, your answer, over or under?
Under.
The answer is 4 schools have 7 Heisman Trophy winners. Ohio State, Oklahoma, USC, and Notre Dame. Dan, you were one Devontae Smith away from a flawless game. A valiant effort, my friend. Thanks for playing.
Yep, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
We will take caller number 3 now for the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Stricky by the skin of your teeth. It wasn't looking good early. You survived. You pull it off.
Pull it off by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
Good stuff.
I gotta win!
You did it. Champ's back in the building.
I thought it was going to lose. I knew. It was like I knew it was right on the top of his
Right on the tip
of his tongue. I was like, no, please, no.
Yeah, I can see it. You're sweating bullets over there.
I was sweating bullets. I just thought he was going to get it for sure.
But he didn't. So again, caller number 3 to 402-464-5685 gets the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Strick's the champ. He's in the building. Who's going to be the college football playoff champ? Who do you want to be the champ? Who do you not want to be the champ? Put your Husker caps on, and we will discuss the 4 teams in the college football playoff, maybe even some Florida State and Georgia, why you should feel bad for those teams, why you should be happy they're left out. We get into that and
revenge on
more.
Florida State.
A lot of revenge. Oh, you're good. You're good. We'll get into the reasons to like and dislike the teams in the college football playoff as a Nebraska fan as we get into hour 2 of On the Block next.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Are you looking for some holiday fun? This year, start a new tradition. Make the Nebraska Christmas Light Show experience an annual event for your family and a cherished memory to look forward to every year. From Black Friday to January 3rd, buckle up and tune into the rhythm of the lights and let the magic of Christmas take over with the show. Now located at Star City Shores, just off of 27th and Highway 2. Buy your tickets for just $20 or $25 per car today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Load up on me and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through December 5th is spend $75 and get a 2-pound prepackaged pecana roast for free. Limit 3 per visit while supplies last. Also, through the 5th, get 20% off all cheese and crackers. Don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That it is, hour 2 of a Take It Down Tuesday show. Big thanks to our friends at The Mill and their collaboration with Empyrean Brewing. They stopped by during the happy hour to help us sample their coffee and cream ale. Definitely recommend checking that out, whether it's down at Laszlo's or at any of the Mill locations that have their liquor license available. Highly recommend. Nick and I do. Would pair very nicely, very, very nicely with both a plate from Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It'll fill you up. The coffee and cream ale will help it slide right down. Buffalo Wings and Rings. Scott, if you're listening, we didn't get your info. So Scott, if you got hung up on, you were caller number 3. Text into the show. We'll get your information down and get you those $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. And of course, it's an all-day type of beer. You can start it early, partially with Heavenly Waffles. Chef Bob will be in the building. Eggs a la Goldenrod tomorrow. It sounds incredible. Again, 8 to 11, Heavenly Waffles will be here at 93.7 The Ticket, 1040 O Street. If you're not going to be here, then you got to be down at Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for lunch on 27th and Pine Lake. All right, Stricky, without further ado, we wanted to get into this. I wanted to get into this. The genesis of this idea came from my family. As soon as the college football playoff selection show was over, all the comments about, Florida State got screwed. Good to see Georgia out, but there's no one I can root for in this college football playoff. I got that from my dad and aunt and uncle, and even a couple friends down the road as well. I pushed back a little bit, but before I give you my rationale for who I want to win out of this college football playoff, not who I think is going to win, but as a Nebraska fan, who I find the least objectionable, do you have a particular rooting interest in this college football playoff?
So the history of Stricky, as far as that's concerned, I'll give that first so there's a little bit of understanding of my mindset and my thinking. People ask me that all the time. Obviously, I didn't live in a place, being a military kid, military son's father. How do I say that? Being the son of a military father, we didn't live in places to where I could really root for professional teams, right? Lived in Cali. When I was there, I think I rooted for Oakland at the time when I was living in Cali. But I really didn't have that because then I came to Nebraska and I was just pretty much red Huskers. So that's kind of my process. As I got into the NBA and into professional ranks, I would root for my teams that I played for, and the hierarchy of that rooting would depend on where I had the best experience. And then I would go to, if those two teams that I'm rooting for, it would usually be the one that I had the best experience, or then it would be I'm rooting against someone else. And then it goes to the underdogs because I was an underdog guy. Like, so I usually, even though I might like a team, I might root for the underdog, the team that has probably the least opportunity, the least chance. So like when Cincinnati was in, I was rooting for them, last time. So in this specific instance, being that it's Alabama, when Auburn played Alabama, obviously I'm rooting for Auburn, right? Because I was born there.
Opelika, stand up.
You know what I'm saying? But because Alabama's in it and the way that they kind of ran under the radar this year, and I'm from the state, born in the state, I'll probably still root for them. Didn't really ever like Texas. You know, we played against Texas when I was at Nebraska. Didn't really, I mean, just felt they were smug and felt they was just better than everybody. Then you got the big, they get the Longhorn Network. It's just like they just a bunch of, privileged kids that I just didn't like. You know what I'm saying? It was like the Dukies. Like I couldn't stand the Dukies, right? Back then, right? So then you got that. So I'm really not rooting for them. So one of my close friends that I grew up with played at Washington. And his name was Napoleon Kaufman. He played in the NFL some years, great running back. I think they won a national championship in 91.
They did.
And
beat Nebraska in 91.
Yeah, they came actually in Memorial State. I was at that game, actually. But I think I like the Penix story. Coming from Indiana, a lot of injuries, rebounding, doing well, and leading his team. Those stories are good for me. So I think I'm going to root Alabama, Washington, Michigan because of Big Ten affiliation, and then Texas. That's the order of how I would go about it.
I like that order. I like a lot of that rationale. I'm going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of the seed that these teams got and give the reasons for and against. Starting with Michigan. I am not a conference rooter. I respect people who do it. I understand where it comes from. I don't do it. If they're in Nebraska's conference and they've beat Nebraska, they've played Nebraska, I want them to lose. I hold that against Michigan. I don't care if it looks better for the Big Ten, yada, yada. No, I'm not on board with that. I won't do that myself. Michigan claims the fraudulent 1997 national championship.
I still think we would have beat the brakes off.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows Nebraska would beat the brakes off of them. So because Michigan still claims that, that's a knock against them. The cheating this year, obviously, we know everything that's gone down with that. Can't root for that.
Spygate.
Desmond Howard, his comments about Nebraska back in COVID, kick them out if they don't want to be here. They want to go somewhere else, let them go somewhere else, all that. That gets held against them. And then Michigan's the winningest team of all time, right? They just passed 1,000 wins. First college football program to do that. Maybe some of them get vacated eventually. Some of them don't. There's a lot of reasons for Husker fans to root against Michigan and not like them. Then I moved to Washington. They beat Nebraska in 91-92. They beat Nebraska in that Holiday Bowl after the 2010 season. Now, Nebraska did win those two regular season games, the one in Lincoln and the one up in Seattle. Nebraska won those pretty convincingly. Taylor Martinez had some big games in those. And Washington is coming into the conference. Washington is my pick. I am pulling for Washington. They have the longest odds, according to Vegas, in this. They're matched up with one of the hotter teams in football in Texas, but both Michigan and Bama have the highest odds. It's Michigan, then Alabama, then it's Texas, and way down there is Washington. Have some family that lived up in Seattle for a long time that are Husker fans, but, still pull for Washington because they lived up there, got to know a lot of Huskies fans. I'm pulling for Washington. The Penix story is great. The offense is great. Kalen DeBoer is a Midwest guy, great coach who's branching out. If you're a Husker fan and you want to hate Washington, it's probably because they're coming into the conference and they beat us in 91, 92, but there's not a lot there. I posted a poll on Twitter, and the two teams that Husker fans hated the most, Strick, are teams 3 and 4 in this year's college football playoff. The runaway winner with over half of the votes was Texas. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I figured that was going to be the case going into this. This Twitter poll confirmed what I thought was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of reasons. The first reason is Texas decided it ran the Big 12. You know, it threw its money around when it got in the Big 12, when the Big 8 schools were honestly generous and kind enough to give Texas, Baylor, A&M, Tech a home, right?
Okay.
When the old Southwest Conference dissolved, some schools went to the SEC, some floated off west. Those 4 Texas schools then joined the Big 8, which there's a lot of money down there. There's some solid football being played. You can understand the move from a Big 12 perspective.
Yeah.
But instead of, Texas especially being the driver of that, saying, hey, thanks for throwing us a lifeline, we really appreciate it, they threw their weight around. They threw their money around. Acted like they ran a conference that they didn't belong to.
Okay.
They've been kind of vagabonds in college football, moved conferences somewhat consistently, never had a great home. And we see them doing that again, jumping from the Big 12 that they were running to the SEC.
Yeah.
Small diatribe here. This is where I do think Nebraska fans need to accept that Nebraska's in the Big 10 now, right? It's done. It's over with. It happened. Retrospectively, I wonder if Nebraska leadership wouldn't have been better served by waiting Texas out. They jump around. It's what Texas has done.
Yeah.
Texas was always going to leave the Big 12. Even if it didn't seem like it at the time, I get Nebraska going for the paycheck, wanting to get out of Texas's shadow, just being fed up with how that conference was being run. But I almost wonder if in retrospect, Nebraska would have been better served with some patience to ride it out and say, yeah, Texas is probably leaving in the next 15, 20 years anyways. It's going to suck for now, but we can deal with it. This is still our conference. We ran this for the last 30, 35 years. Anyways, that's just a small aside on that. More reasons to hate Texas. The 2009 Big 12 championship game.
Oh, yeah.
Mac Brown
I felt that was
paid
stolen.
the refs off.
Yeah, I felt that was
Gave
stolen.
that second back on the clock. The 1996 Big 12 championship game, Nebraska had already lost to Arizona State earlier that year. Then you go to St. Louis and you lose to Texas in that game by 10 points. Can't forgive Texas for that. Not a great game played by Nebraska. And Texas has really dominated the series. I think Nebraska is 4-10 all time against Texas, but the games have been surprisingly close. Only 1 or 2 blowouts in there. Yeah. So despite the money, despite the resources, despite the attitude, Nebraska's been surprisingly close in a lot of these games with Texas, which makes it more frustrating, Strick.
Yeah.
That Texas always seems to find a way to pull it out of where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, I mean, I see the logic. I see the understanding by it. And I'm sticking to my guns, and that's the way it's going to be. How do you feel? 402-464-5685. We sure would love to hear from you guys as far as how your thoughts in this whole process of the college football playoff.
We have to get to Bama.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got one more.
But I do have to address Hayden on the text line. No, Hayden, I didn't say Nebraska should still be in the Big 12. I'm not anti-Big 10. I don't hate that Nebraska made that move. I don't think Nebraska has adapted the way it's needed to. I don't know if Nebraska was fully prepared for that jump. Nebraska's fine in the Big 10. Nebraska can be fine in the Big 10. I think a Big 12 with Nebraska right now looks a lot different than the Big 12 we're seeing. I think Nebraska could have been a pillar of stability and stayed on top in a couple more sports. Maybe if Nebraska had stayed in the Big 12. I get the reason I don't hate Nebraska jumping for the Big 10. It's just a fun sort of hypothetical to play to maybe have some more of that long-term vision. Hey, can we, maintain more control of a conference that we're a big, loud voice in instead of going to be the new kid on the block? Too late now. I get it. Nebraska's in the Big 10. We're dealing with that. That's what it is. Just would have been a fun hypothetical to play. All right, Alabama. Why to hate Alabama as a Nebraska fan? Well, they're the recent power. They've won everything. Best dynasty of the 2000s, kind of supplanted Nebraska in some of those greatest of all time conversations as teams, but also Saban versus Osborne, right? If you're a Nebraska fan, you are rooting so hard against Nick Saban. You absolutely are. I mean, a lot of people are going to say he's the best coach of all time. If you're a Nebraska fan, you want that to still be Tom Osborne and him to be in that conversation. You want Saban to lose. He backdoored his way into this. He didn't deserve it. He got lucky. ESPN, SEC college football playoff bias, whatever, got him in. That's what you're claiming. Alabama's the new, NFL draft factory. Think about how many dudes Nebraska got drafted. Alabama's kind of filled that void.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And for our older audience might remember Alabama beating Nebraska in 1966 and 1967 in what were essentially national championship games. Alabama denied Nebraska a couple national championships under Bear Bryant. Nebraska was there before 71-72. It was Alabama that beat them. So there's that. We also have two other teams I want to mention really quickly. Don't feel bad for Georgia. They've been on top for so long. Nebraska fans should be absolutely giddy that the Bulldogs can't get 3 in a row, right?
Yeah.
And supplant the mid-90s Nebraska run in that way. I don't think there's a whole lot to hate about Georgia. Nebraska split a bowl series with them. They played them in bowl games in back-to-back years. Or in, short time span, Nebraska played Georgia, beat them once, lost to them once. Kirby Smart, was the under Bulldog who finally beat Saban. I think Nebraska fans are glad that Georgia can't get 3 in a row. But then, Strick, we get to Florida State, the first team out of the playoff. I think a lot of college football fans are feeling bad for Florida State. I don't think Nebraska fans, unless they are true, genuine empaths,
I'm still going to
feel bad.
No.
And why? Why should Nebraska fans feel bad?
Because Bobby Bowden's first was not that they did not win that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you call the field goal, that the phantom block on the punt return was crazy. The not catch, if they have, as crazy as it sounds, they may have still let it go if they would have had replay back then. And so there was a couple of things that really cost Nebraska that game. They beat them, and we're still there, and a field goal, still could have got it done. But hey, it is what it is.
The missed field goal, Nebraska had a chance to get it done. The fumble at the goal line, the non-catch, the phantom block in the back call on the punt return.
Yeah.
It all adds up. I think even Bowden versus Osborne, right? I mean, Miami did some good stuff in the 80s, but then it was really Florida State versus Nebraska in the 90s, the two powers in different parts of the country. Someone on the text line said karmic justice finally came through 30 years later.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to do that. And here's another thing that I think would fly under the radar. Obviously, Nebraska fans hate Colorado. They're not a part of this discussion because they're not in the college football playoff. But if you want to hate on Florida State, hate on them for Deion going there. You can double hate, right? You can double dip there.
Yeah, that could be the case. But it's like the sky's falling on poor Deion right now, and I don't know if I want to continue to pound on.
We don't have to
at this particular point. Yeah, I mean, you've lost recruits. I mean, everybody does though these days. The season got off to a tremendous start, and you only win one more game after that, which is tough. Then you lose your fiance, tough. There's all kinds of stuff being pounded and compounded on him right now. The question would be, though, in this specific instance is, how is he going to rebound?
Right.
I mean, that's another show because is he built for Division I football? Maybe
they're hemorrhaging recruits right now.
So here's why I say that, and I'm not going to get into it, but we'll
save it for later in the week.
But my thought on that is this: it reminds me a lot of Shaka Smart. There are certain places that certain people thrive. Like there are certain coaches that have that rebound in them. You obviously got Saban is one of them. There are certain guys that when this hits the way that it's hitting, that they get stronger. So we talked about that earlier with New York Jets, Wilson, and there are times in your lives when certain things hit you. How do you respond to it? And so this is going to be a gut check, for him and where he goes from here. And look, don't get it twisted. There's going to be some expectations on Rule next year. I mean,
Real
you can
legit,
get
full on.
some legit. You missed this next one. They're not going to call for your head because you're blessed to get 8. You know what I'm saying? You got 8. So I don't think we're not in a Texas A&M position.
No.
You know, you can't lose 17 and then what did you get, 80 something?
It's too much.
It's way too much.
Far too much.
You can't miss twice. So as much as the program itself can't miss on this specific instance, the doggone Coach Rule and the staff can't miss. They can't miss on this next one. It's got to be a good quarterback, someone that fits the bill, someone that can get the job done. You've got to be able to retain and develop. You got to be able to tell you this next year should be a sign of everything that you told us in your press conference. I mean, it should be.
That's definitely a topic to broach later in the week. Let's flip it back to the playoff really quick. A couple of just odds and ends to tie up here. 8983 on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Why is nobody talking about Ohio State deserving to be in the playoff? Their only loss was to number 1 Michigan.
Huh? We've seen that picture before. In the same light. Now, if you're going to say that Ohio State is more deserving than Georgia, miss me with that one. There's no way. Miss me with that one. You haven't been able to beat Michigan in the same light that Michigan has not, for some time, wasn't able to get it done against you at this point. No, I do not like 2 Big Ten teams getting in again and coming up short again. My thing is matchups mean a lot. Michigan is sick to their stomach right now that Georgia lost. Sick. Because I guarantee you they would have much rather played Washington.
Than Alabama.
Say what it listen. So no, miss me with Ohio State. Miss me with that one. No, sir.
Ohio State didn't play in a conference championship game, and like you said, lost to its only competition. Georgia at least got to the conference championship game.
Right.
Didn't play the best schedule, but got to the conference championship game. And I think the only time a committee's put a non-conference champion in was one of Alabama's, and they backdoor their way into that 4 spot. And they end up winning the national title that way. Ohio State was never going to get in. I can debate Ohio State and Georgia here and there, but I still think Georgia making it to the conference championship game has to hold some weight. And they lost to a team that was, yes, lower ranked than Michigan was, right? Michigan's ranked higher than Alabama coming in. Maybe you can say that Ohio State deserved to move up to number 5 just based on where they started the rankings. I mean, don't forget, Ohio State started number 1. But most of that has to do with the, behind the scenes analytics and numbers as it does the actual play on the field. Because 89-83, I disagree. I don't think Ohio State does have as good an argument as Bama and Georgia. Not one of those 3 teams was up to their usual vintage of what we think about. Domination, clear best team in the country. All 3 of them were very good. Alabama has a conference championship win to hold over Ohio State.
And their
Georgia
only loss
has an
was
appearance
early
to a college football playoff contender who made it in. So I strongly disagree that they have as good an argument. I don't think they do. Let's wrap this segment up with this, Strick. So Heather Dinich of ESPN wrote an article about everything that went into Florida State getting left out of the playoff. And one of her sources obviously remained anonymous. I recommend you check out the article here after sometime tonight, right? Read it over dinner or when you wake up in the morning. But one of the sources said this to Heather Dinich. All of us had the emotional tie, like, holy crap, this is really going to suck to do this, meaning leaving Florida State out. We talked about that over and over, and we just kept coming back to, here's the money quote, are they good enough with what they have to win a national championship? And it just kept coming back to we didn't think they could.
Oh, wow.
It literally came down to Jordan Travis being out.
Yeah.
The committee is telling you
and that's
that.
part of their bylaw. That is something that's in their bylaw is significant missing of integral pieces to the team. So again, I think that whole dynamic could have changed had they dominated Louisville in that game. Like regardless of Travis was there, if they just it was a total domination in that game, but the offense didn't show they could do it. And I'm telling you, they didn't. Boy, I tell you what though, Michigan was hoping Boy, they was like, please let them come because we got everything we want for them.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, oh boy, they hated when that skip to Malou happened with Alabama. Alabama,
mm-hmm.
They Candyland hopped into that joint like, yeah. I'm telling you, man, it was hilarious. I was like, yes.
They sure did. Some other just notes from that article. There wasn't any serious consideration to including Alabama without Texas. So Texas was ahead of Alabama the whole time. So once Texas, or if Alabama was going to be in and the SEC wasn't going to leave out the SEC champion, once Bama was in, Texas basically had to be in. There also wasn't enough support across the 13-member committee to say Georgia was unequivocally one of the 4 best teams in the country. So sounds like Georgia was out as soon as they lost to Alabama, which coupled with Texas's big win and Florida State's close win on top of the loss of Jordan Travis, that is what the committee is saying pushed Florida State from in the playoff to first one out of the playoff.
There it is.
That simple.
No, it's just that simple. Not much to add to that.
It's complicated, but it's simple,
Yep.
So again, if you're an empath or you're a good person, maybe you can feel bad for Florida State. But as we just spent all segment going through, if you're a Husker fan, you're probably thinking, hey, karma comes back and bites you eventually. So good stuff on the college football playoff. Let's turn it back home here to Nebraska. Some more potential transfer portal targets for Nebraska being leaked, being named. The Huskers have been around the block to make some visits, been around the country on that jet streak he mentioned. We'll talk about a couple of those targets for Husker football when we get back.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
We're bringing heaven to Lincoln with a waffle unlike anything you've ever experienced. Heavenly Waffles combines an incredibly fluffy recipe packed with protein and a medley of angelic toppings. To elevate the experience beyond your typical waffle and syrup, take the opportunity to try out this divine creation and pair it with a coffee from the mill as we celebrate Heavenly Waffles Wednesday from 8 to 11 a.m. at the 93.7 The Ticket Studio.
Enjoy some Heavenly Waffles this December 6th at the 93.7 Ticket Studio at 1040 O Street. Parking available along 11th Street or in nearby garages.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through December 5th is spend $75 and get a 2-pound prepackaged pecano roast for free. Limit 3 per visit while supplies last. Also, through the 5th, get 20% off all cheese and crackers. Don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com. Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. I'm Austin Norman. He is Erick Strickland. Had a good show so far. We got another half an hour to keep it rolling here. Had Teach Tape Tuesday at 2:30. Make sure you check that out. A simple play and some thoughts on the Nebraska basketball offense as they take on Minnesota tomorrow night with post-game coverage here afterwards. Just got done talking about the College Football Playoff Hate Index. Who should Nebraska fans root for and against in this year's Final Four? I think we landed on hating Texas is the easy thing to do. Hating on Michigan's a smart thing to do. Alabama, just because of their recent success, but there's not a whole lot objectionable outside of that. And then Washington, if you have a specific grudge from the 1991 season or are preemptively rooting against them if you're not a conference rooter. But go back, check out the rationale for those. We'll wrap this up, too, with the playoff discussion before we talk some transfer portal. None of us are saying Florida State didn't get hosed. Like, they clearly deserve to be in, even with Jordan Travis being out. We were just telling you what the committee said and what their reasoning was. So let's leave that there. We'll talk about those matchups as we get closer and closer to the college football playoff. It's Flight Tracker season. It's also Notes app season. We had one for Nebraska recently. Thomas Fidone posted in the Notes app, and normally that would mean he's leaving, he's entering the transfer portal. He's, we see recruits do that all the time to announce their commitment. We didn't get that. We just got a story, the Thomas Fidone story, essentially recapping his injuries, everything he went through, kind of his thought process on the Notes app. Mm-hmm. But we might have an indication toward a transfer at his Twitter bio. He updated it. It's no longer tight end at, Nebraska football, University of Nebraska. It's tight end at period. Not a sure thing, but Stricky, I might be on the lookout for Thomas Fidone making a move here in the near future.
Well, there's definitely going to be some discussions. Obviously, Carter Nelson there's going to be more competition that's going to be coming in. Where there's disappointment, I think the period also rests in why nothing has been heard at this particular point. And I could be wrong. But I also think that he's waiting to see what type of quarterback is going to come in here. I think if everything stays, the same, status quo, what it is right now, I think you probably see him jump in and make a move. I think there's probably some frustrations there, and some people waiting to see what's going to come.
Let's go to Twitter as well. We have Jerry Mitchell tweeting at us. Jerry, appreciate you dropping us a line there on Twitter. He says, Nebraska has a lot of returning guys. Now's the time. Coach Rule better get a stud quarterback from the portal, maybe a wide receiver and running back. We know Nebraska's in the quarterback market. We've talked on this show about how Nebraska needs that wide receiver one. And also, I think a number one running back, a workhorse type of guy, whether it's a Divine Azigbo, maybe Rex Burkhead type guy, if not that level of production. But of course, the conversation comes back to quarterback and a couple developments on that front, Strick. We saw Nebraska go down to Waco, to Baylor, where the staff obviously, some of them coached before Matt Rule being head coach there. And they talked with Blake Shapen, the starting quarterback for Baylor. This year, he only played in 8 games, completed 62% of his passes for 2,200 yards, 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. You like that ratio. He was the full-time starter last year for Baylor, completed 63% of his passes, 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. In terms of the rushing threat, he's not really one. More of that traditional pocket passer. Might be able to throw on the move a little bit, but not a whole lot going on in the quarterback run game. I love the idea of a dynamic athlete with both the arms and the legs at quarterback. But if Nebraska is not going to get Strick a Jaden Daniels type of guy, I like the cerebral processing pocket style quarterback that defines the roles, that makes it that much more important for Nebraska to build a running game through the running backs. I like the idea of a Blake Shapen at Nebraska.
Well, I mean, I can't fight you. I think for me, it's a style of quarterback. Definitely somebody who has pocket. I don't think a traditional pocket passer works for Nebraska per se.
Okay.
Just a traditional stand in the pocket type of guy. I think because you can tell that's not the case because of what they wanted with Sims, right? So I think somebody with a little bit of balance. I think somebody with a little bit of Milrow, with a little bit of, or Milrow, maybe a little bit of, who else? Who's up at Oregon?
Nix.
Bo Nix. Little bit of kind of, if I can say, maybe a Josh Allen-ish. Big, good arm, can make all the throws. But if I need to use my feet, now don't want to.
Right.
But if I need to, right, can step up, get what I need. Something like that, style-wise, but can make the throws. Because the inconsistencies of the throws with Nebraska, with tighter windows, you have to be accurate. You have to have accuracy. Any misses for Nebraska at this particular point, because they don't have a Trey Palmer that can bust it open where you got to worry
on any given play,
getting over the top of you. You know what I mean? So even, I mean, I've seen them have guys open over the top, just couldn't hit them. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know and can read and can move now, also you need line play. Let's just be honest about it. I think the line, I got to give the line credit. There are times when they gave plenty of time to make a throw and just, we bombed at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not hitting the bomb.
Right.
But bombed at it. Dropped the bomb. And blew the team up because you threw an interception or you threw it behind or didn't get the
receiver wasn't open.
You needed 12 and you didn't get the 12, but he was open for the 12. You just missed him, type of thing. So yeah, we got to get beyond that. So a style of quarterback is what I'm looking for.
I'm glad you bring that up because I want to agree with you. I love the idea of a dual threat type of guy. And I think it makes sense if Nebraska wants that, why you go get a Jeff Sims. But then, Strick, I have to ask, why recruit Daniel Kalen? Kalen's not that.
Yeah, he's not. He's definitely a pocket.
Is there an identity crisis? Does Nebraska still know what it wants out of the quarterback position? Do you want some, diversity in that room in terms of play style? Do you want to make other teams adjust if you have to go to your backup? Or do you want a template of guy? Because I think Kalen can be a good quarterback. I think I see the outline of what Nebraska was going for with Jeff Sims, but they are not the same style of player.
Well, then you have to ask the question, what is it that they want or they did? Because if you're going to be a zone read team, you better have somebody that has some feet, because otherwise guys are teeing off. The defensive end is not even looking at you. He's at the running back every time.
You need good feet, but you also need to be able to process quickly, right? To make that read on what that guy's doing in 1.5 steps, essentially.
Exactly. So if you're not that, then okay, the next form is RPO. If you're an RPO, you don't have to be super runner. You just have to be able to make the read right and get the extra 4 yards with, even if you're slow of foot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to bust it open on these RPOs. I'm just trying to keep you honest. I'm trying to keep those linebackers down a little bit longer so I can run, skinny posts on them, or I can run, drags that can get behind them, or run a tight end up the seam. I can do something that keeps them linebackers at a pause, and them safeties, if they're downhill on me, just hold them off for a second. If they don't have that, then what's next after that? Then you got to go to, if you're going to go the run and shoot style, just air it out, the air raid style, then you got to be able to read there too. You got to be able to read which mismatch works in this specific, call that we have. And you've got to be able to make a decision based off of the defense that's being thrown at you. So I just don't know who fits that mold, what they want, because they just tried to do so many different things this year. So I have no idea what they're looking for.
If Nebraska does want to go more the dual threat route, at least, threaten a quarterback run game, Will Howard's the guy in terms of the Power 5 guys. Not an elite runner. Ran for, just over 4 yards a carry this last year. As a freshman, he ran for 4.5 yards per carry, but can give you a little bit with the feet. But then again, I go back to why Daniel Kalen. He doesn't give you a lot of that, and why bring in a guy like that to mentor Daniel Kalen in this system if it's not what he's going to be running, which is where I land on a Blake Shapen, more of that pocket guy. Or, again, flight tracker season, take it with a grain of salt. Nebraska rumored to be in Columbus, Ohio. I made that joke at the end of happy hour. Are they back in Columbus, Nebraska? Is Ernest Hausman back home? They checking in on him? No, they're in Columbus, Ohio. Does Nebraska have any interest in Kyle McCord? Maybe. I don't hate Nebraska asking, even if he's not a dual threat guy. I think he brings that winning pedigree at one of the most important positions, if not the most important position for this team to address this offseason. Knows what the conference is like. I think could help elevate some of these young receivers, and is much more similar to Daniel Kalen, and would be a good guy to grow with him, because he still has a couple years left to make sure Kalen is ready to take over for him. If Nebraska is interested in Kyle McCord, I get it, and I respect them at least asking, even if he says no.
Yeah. I can't throw it back. If somebody on the text line throw it back, I don't have a rebuttal of that. I mean, I that's the way I see it too. Just let me know what you're looking for, and we're going to find out pretty soon. It's going to happen pretty soon.
We sure will. 402-464-5685. Give us your thoughts on who you hate in the college football playoff. Who are you rooting for on the flip side of that? And transfer portal quarterbacks. What does Nebraska need to be looking for? And none of you smart acts say no fumbles. Like, we get it. Okay. A little more. What kind of style of quarterback is Nebraska looking for out of the transfer portal? What do they need to look for? Let us know your thoughts. We'll wrap up the show with those. Maybe welcome in Jay Foreman if he's in the building to cross it over, get you all set up for old school after this.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles, from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices, and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln. If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through December 5th is spend $75 and get a 2-pound prepackaged pecano roast for free. Limit 3 per visit while supplies last. Also, through the 5th, get 20% off all cheese and crackers. Don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
What if that happened to Nebraska? What do you think would be going on right now? If somehow, some way, miraculously, Matt Rule and company went undefeated, and because we lost our starting quarterback, you forgot about the entire 100 and how many ever guys, as if it only took the quarterback to get Florida State undefeated. NCAA, make it make sense. Committee, make it make sense. There's no rhyme or reason to your selection.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on Block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. Been a good 2 hours. Plenty for you to listen back to wherever you get your podcast. That'll be posted later tonight. Make sure you check it out, whether you're driving around town or over breakfast on your way to work, whatever it is. Really appreciate you guys checking out, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I think Amazon has it as well. We're all over the place. Pretty much wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to The Ticket. We appreciate you guys listening to all of us here at 93.7, but especially on the block here, live 2 to 4. And again, on the podcast, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, rebroadcast also always available for you. Strick, let's finish out by talking some more transfer portal, just some more ideas here. So Brad on the text line is saying, yeah, let's have Nebraska go get a guy who was benched. Well, Brad, welcome to the transfer portal. That's a lot of these guys that got passed on the depth chart, that slid back from maybe their previous heights.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of perfect prospects in the transfer portal. A lot of these guys need a fresh start, want a second chance. So that's kind of what the transfer portal's for. Not always how it's used, but that's ideally what it's for, is to give guys a fresh set of eyes on them, to give them a way to start over, to, have a fresh shot to make up for some of those mistakes, to improve at a different place with a different coaching staff. So it wouldn't shock me if Nebraska's starter next year got benched somewhere. That's just life in the transfer portal era, Strick, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just part of the deal of the day. And I think one of the things, though, is there's a misconception that jumping in the transfer portal is going to offer you better opportunities. And I think that's where a lot of young men get lost in the shuffle. Doesn't necessarily go the way maybe that they planned it or they had anticipated. So sometimes guys get hurt, but I think there's opportunities always out there at multiple levels. If you have a certain skill set that fits the need or the scheme of where you're trying to go. So it's just as important for the university, the staff, or whoever to do their due diligence as it is for you, your parents, whoever you're working with, whoever your mentor. It's just as valuable for them to make the same type of diligent assessment as to where you're going.
Well, Oregon did that with Bo Nix.
Yeah.
LSU did that with Jaden Daniels. Both guys that played their way off the field and played their way back onto it.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, Jay probably would have a better answer than I would on that specific topic.
Let's bring him in, the Husker Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman, with us here. Another question on the text line. What's the ceiling if Kyle McCord comes to Nebraska? Let's not forget he had wide receivers like Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka. I'd throw tight end Cade Stover into that mix. Again, Nebraska rumored to be in Columbus visiting Kyle McCord. Can he be Zach Taylor? Is that fair?
I mean, sure. I mean, it's about the same skill set. I mean, a few games I've seen of him, and then, just jogging a memory would be a good comparison. But they could be in Columbus. You just never know who they're visiting.
Not like Ohio State doesn't have other talented guys on that roster that Nebraska might be interested in.
Right, yeah. So you just never know. Look, it's part of recruiting. There's 8 million kids in the portal. There's probably kids in the portal that haven't hit, Twitter yet or whatever, or X or whatever it's called. And so now they have to, it's recruiting all over again. You want to make sure you get that first impression, FaceTime or whatever. However you want to describe it, and then, start to do the due diligence and see if there's mutual interest, and so look, right now it's everybody's jockeying for position. The players are definitely jumping in there for whatever their reasons are, and they know they have a lot of people that are, throwing out lines in the water, see if they're interested. And, I heard you guys, talking about possibility of, did Thomas Fedoni jump in officially, or
he did not? We're just trying to read the tea leaves.
I think it's a wait. I think it's a wait to see what quarterback comes, and before he probably makes a decision.
Right. I mean, whatever. Everybody's got to make their own decisions. Then you got to live with those decisions. Sometimes You look over there, I think the grass is a little bit greener or sweeter, and then you got to realize that whether it's same grass, a little bit better grass, and it's the old saying: if you water your own grass, it definitely will grow a lot stronger and longer. So, I mean, I mean, I remember playing in Houston, and we had a rash of injuries up front, and we were, top 6 defense my first year, second year, top 10 for sure. Seth Payne was hurt, Gary Walker was hurt, Jerry DeLoach was hurt. So our 3 starters that we've all played together were gone. We brought in a couple guys. We played my man Terrence Tea Time Martin. I love Terrence Martin, man. The thing about Tea Time is that he
never missed one.
No, he was a big dude, and he's a big man, and he's in the entertainment business. He's a security guy, so like he helps with weapons purchases and stuff. But he is a good friend of mine. But I remember when he came in, he was a rookie, and he never played. You going from he played at North Carolina State, coming here. Just big step up. But towards the end of the season, he started to improve. It could have been very easily that I could have been like, all right, man, we're going to have a younger defensive line and all that. And thought maybe I was too sweet to play with him. I said, you know what? I got to get better at some things.
Yeah.
Personally. Before I start worrying about what Terrence, if Jerry DeLoach is coming back, if Gary's coming back, if Seth Payne is able to come back. He had like a kind of a funky knee thing that he had kind of been, kind of just putting off for a while and just kind of went kaput. Those are the type of things that you got to really assess. But first thing you got to do is assess yourself. That's the biggest thing that you have to do. And I think just a lot of guys in the portal or sometimes gloss over that. Look, there's good players everywhere. And just because you go in the portal and you might have had a good year doesn't mean that everybody's going to want you, because you're not a unicorn. Justin Fields going in the portal. The Bo Nixes and the Michael Penix Jr., those guys are unicorns, right?
Even Caleb Williams,
right? And Heisman winner. Michael Penix and Bo Nix, potentially Heisman winners. Those guys are unicorns, and they play one position, and there's one guy that plays. So the need for them is always extremely high, but when the supply is extremely high, the need goes down.
Yeah,
so many more talented receivers in a passing era of football.
Right. I always tell people, hey, you want to give it up to my man Xavier Watts up there for him winning the Negotiator Award, because I remember talking to his dad, and he was talking about being a receiver. I said, listen, in my opinion, and I got to first of all, I want to give a shout out to Steve Warren Academy. That's where I met him at. So Steve kind of forged I wouldn't call it a relationship, just to talk. I said, listen, the way college football and football is going, a wide receiver is a dime a dozen. It is. It's a dime a dozen. I said, guys that can play defense, that are tough, and that can be, like a nickel, a kind of a in the box linebacker safety, a field safety, like I call him a cover 4 safety. That means you're able to cover like a Travis Kelce and then come down and make
Derwin
plays.
James type.
That type of thing. That's where it's going. Think about it. And because I just told him about, like, if I wouldn't have came to Nebraska, I would have probably, played safety. I talked about when you get in the league, the object is staying as long as you can. Safeties were the hardest guys for me to block on special teams. They were faster than me. They were probably most likely quicker than me. They weren't as big as me, but didn't matter. They're running down full speed.
And had the same attitude as you of hitting someone.
Right. And then they're making plays. Those guys have played a long time in the league. And so good up for him. But then also when you think about this transfer portal, hey, man. I'm telling you, man. Some people, it's funny thing. I was talking to Greg Smith about this today from Rivals. Big shout out to Greg.
Good dude.
The best thing about Nebraska sometimes could be the biggest deterrent for people. It wasn't as bad back when we played because we didn't have the social media aspect, but it was a little bit when you kind of grow up around here and you don't get over yourself and all that. But where these guys here, whereas like you do well here, it used to be if you played well at Nebraska, you're going to get a guaranteed shot in the league. Now, when you're not winning, it's not happening. But sometimes you get treated as such. and then you lose a sense of reality, right? And so sometimes that portal is that harsh reality, boy. It's like jumping in. I can't speak for Matt, but like, back in the day when he tried to teach you to swim, right? Just throw you right in the deep end. And the water hey, when you first jump in the water, it would jump in the pool and you go to like YMCA, it'd be cold, right? That's what that portal is when that phone ain't ringing and stuff like that. It's a cold world out there, man.
Yeah.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
The other thing we talked about real quick here, Jay, before we get you off to old school, do you have a rooting interest in this college football playoff? Are you pulling for one team? Are you pulling against one team? Where are you at with the 4-team field?
I'm pulling for Michigan to lose for sure.
Even if it means Alabama wins?
Oh yeah, I'll be cool if Alabama wins, and I don't want Texas to win. That's petty than a mug. But anybody
is it because of 96?
No, I just don't like Texas.
I said the same thing.
Anybody but Michigan, I'll be good with. But I had a bet with a friend, Strick, about Florida State not getting in.
Oh, I did too.
You cashing out?
I did too. I cashed out.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Why does this always happen?
Hey, Strick.
We
Strick.
always
Strick.
say the same thing.
Hey, you know what's funny?
I had the same thing with a Florida State guy.
We on a group text. Once I was riding around. I just talked to him early on Sunday. He's like, man, you know what? In an hour, they going. I said, listen, they ain't gonna make it. We're in the group text. You can FaceTime everybody. Right. My man gave me the red button. So I said, roll Tide. Roll Tide. You know what I mean?
That button was not garnet. It was crimson.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, it was a great day. It's been but I feel for Florida State. But you know what, though? I've seen Danny Cannell on talk. He's big on Twitter, whether it's fighting with Deion Sanders' kid, which is stupid in itself.
Unnecessary.
But, whatever. You're on Twitter. Funny thing about it, I grew up a big Florida State fan. I just feel like business-wise, the last of the Final Four, Florida State just wouldn't represent well. They would compete. It wouldn't be close. That's what it came down to. Dollars and cents, selling advertisement, right? Florida State made it to the national championship game one year when West Virginia went undefeated.
That's right.
How you know what? My grandma used to always tell me about people. How soon they forget. How soon they forget. Yeah. How soon Danny Cannell forgot a team that he was on. Lost the game.
Still got
in. West Virginia, the Mountaineers up there in the middle of nowhere. Morgantown, drinking moonshine, mad as all get out, but they didn't have anything about them. Now, it's a big move because Florida State, in my opinion, is a blue blood football program.
Yeah.
So when they kind of don't have the same cachet, that's why they were thinking about maybe leaving the ACC. Right? Remember before the season? Yeah. They're the first ones that jumped out there. So we ready to
move.
We were open for business. All this stuff goes into it, man. All of it goes into it. And so
and even if Florida State's a blue blood, you left them out for Alabama. You're not going to compete with that.
If there's a team that really has a realistic gripe and recent history as far as even last year, TCU losing to Kansas State, still getting in, is Georgia.
Right.
Georgia has a legit. You go from 1 to 6, 1 to 5. That's a big jump because it was a close game.
There it is.
So there's a lot to unpack there, man.
What's coming up on Old School?
Well, we're gonna get. I was with Nick, you and Nick early, but we're gonna jump in and we're gonna start to assess some of the transfer portal quarterbacks. We're also gonna talk about today, which went kind of under the radar. Today, the Heisman committee could have, but chose passed the buck to the NCAA to give Reggie Bush back his Heisman. We're going to do a panel, me and Austin. We're going to argue on both sides of the fence. Should he get it back? Has things changed? Kind of like the Pete Rose, because the dynamics of college football has changed. The Heisman committee said they would give it back to him, or the NCAA says the Heisman committee has to do it. The Heisman committee says he has to go around and get a sign-off from all the former Heisman winners to do so. Reggie Bush says, I would never do that.
Wow.
So there's a lot that I think that's huge because of NIL and stuff like that. So
wow.
There you go. That's coming up on Old School DP and J. He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. It's been fun here on the block the last couple hours. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. Old School comes your way in just a sec.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
We're bringing heaven to Lincoln with a waffle unlike anything you've ever experienced. Heavenly Waffles combines an incredibly fluffy recipe packed with protein and a medley of angelic toppings. To elevate the experience beyond your typical waffle and syrup, take the opportunity to try out this divine creation and pair it with a coffee from the mill as we celebrate Heavenly Waffles Wednesday from 8 to 11 a.m. at the 93.7 The Tickets.